Have you ever had a door slammed in your face, only to later realize that it was the best thing that could have happened to you? Imagine a world where every no doesn't knock you down but lifts you higher, where rejection becomes your redirection. What if the universe's no was simply a quiet way of saying, wait, something greater is coming? Today, we're diving deep into the art of turning rejection into your greatest power, through the timeless wisdom of the Stoic lifestyle. Rejection. A word that often stings, that weighs heavy on the heart, and whispers that you're not enough. But what if that sting wasn't a wound, but a spark? What if rejection, when seen through the Stoic lens, isn't a dead end, but a detour, something better? We're not just talking about theory here. You're about to discover 13 powerful lessons that are grounded in reality, practical tools you can apply in your everyday life. Tools that will help you not just cope with rejection, but rise because of it. And maybe you're here because you've been overlooked, ignored, or underestimated. You've given your all, but they didn't see it. That's okay. Because today, you're going to learn how to flip the script. Before we jump into this transformative journey, do one thing: hit that like button and ring the bell. Not just to support the channel, but to tell the algorithm, and the universe, that you're ready to embrace this mindset shift. Lesson 1, ignore them when life greets you with silence or cold indifference. Don't shrink back. Don't seek approval. Instead, rise. Rise above it. Ignoring those who ignore you is not petty. It's powerful. It's a quiet affirmation of your worth. Picture this: someone decides you're not worth their time. That's not your loss, it's theirs. When you choose not to respond, not to chase, you're holding up a mirror. You're showing them, without saying a word, that you are unaffected, that your value is not determined by their recognition. This is the beginning of inner power, a strength that doesn't shout, but stands firm, a strength deeply rooted in the Stoic lifestyle. And that is just the beginning. Lesson 2, use their doubt as fuel. When others doubt you, mock you, or write you off, it hurts. There's no denying that. But what if, instead of letting their judgment break you, you turned it into your momentum? That moment when someone tells you, you're not good enough, or worse, treats you like you don't exist, it burns. But it doesn't have to burn you down. It can ignite you. The Stoic lifestyle teaches us that pain is a signal, not a stop sign. When they doubt you, let that be your kindling. Channel it. Use their disbelief not as proof that they're right, but as a challenge to prove to yourself what you're truly made of. It's not about revenge. It's about transformation. Imagine yourself walking in silence, while the noise of their doubt echoes behind you. Every step you take forward becomes a response louder than any argument. I don't need your belief to succeed, I believe in myself. This is how resilience is born, not in applause, but in rejection. You're not here to beg for space. You're here to earn your place, not in their world, but in your own. And once you've fueled your eyes with the fire of their doubt, you're ready for the next step, something even more powerful. Lesson 3, stay calm. This moment doesn't define you. Take a breath. Look around. This exact moment, it might feel heavy, maybe even humiliating, but it doesn't define who you are. It's not your whole story. It's just a moment. The Stoic lifestyle reminds us of something powerful: we are not defined by what others do to us, but by how we respond. So, when you're met with cold silence, with no message, no explanation, no closure, don't let it shake you. Don't let it turn into a storm inside you. Instead, ground yourself. Stay polite. Stay kind. That's not weakness, it's strength held in balance. And if you feel the urge to reach out, to say something, to make the first move, do it not from desperation, but from genuine concern, from calm sincerity, not from a craving for reply or validation. but from the peace of knowing you've done your part with integrity. This is not about being passive. It's about being in control of your emotions. It's about refusing to let someone else's silence dictate your self-worth. Your value isn't found in how people treat you. It lives in how you carry yourself, quietly, steadily, and with grace. That shift in mindset, it's a game changer. And yes, adopting this perspective isn't easy. It takes practice. But it's transformative. Because when you learn to stay calm in the face of rejection, you're not just surviving, you're rising. You begin to understand, your peace, your stability, your joy, they don't come from outside approval. They come from within. You don't need someone else's acceptance to feel whole. And here's the most beautiful part, when you live this way, with unshakable calm and quiet self-belief, people notice. Confidence like that draws others in. Strength like that is rare. And it radiates. So the next time silence greets you, remember, you are not being ignored. You are being refined. Lesson 4, remove them from your mind. You're no longer just surviving rejection, you're becoming someone who transforms it into personal growth. That's the Stoic lifestyle in action. The next key is learning to let go, not with bitterness, not with denial, but with deliberate, powerful detachment. Yes, rejection hurts. And no, we don't pretend it didn't. We feel it fully. We acknowledge the sting, but we refuse to let it take root in our minds. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the memory. It means redirecting its weight. Picture it like this, you're a sailor on turbulent seas. The rejection is the wave. But instead of letting it crash over you and sink your ship, you learn to steer with it, using its force to move forward. That's the art of mental detachment. Rejection isn't a roadblock. It's a detour sign. A quiet redirection. A whisper that says, there's something better ahead, just not this way. So how do you redirect that energy? Dive into something that uplifts you, something that expands your spirit and stretches your limits. Read a book that shakes up your thinking. Try a new sport that tests your physical and mental resilience. Or join a local project that helps others while helping you gain a fresh perspective. These aren't just distractions. They're tools for self-discovery. Each new experience adds a layer to who you are. It strengthens you, sharpens you, prepares you. And as you grow, be intentional with the people around you. Build a circle of support, a tribe that inspires, uplifts, and listens. Spend time with those who reflect the future you want to build, not the rejection you've left behind. Talk with them. Dream with them. Let that space become fertile ground where mutual growth can flourish. Always remember this, rejection is never a mirror of your worth. It's an invitation, a gentle one, to rediscover who you are. And to reinvent who you can become. And once you've walked far enough, you'll look back and realize, what felt like a painful exit was really a push toward your true direction. Lesson 5, demonstrate your value. Yes, rejection hurts. It burns. But it's also a test, a raw and revealing litmus test for your resilience. You have two choices when you're overlooked, dismissed, or sidestepped, shrink or shine. The Stoic lifestyle invites us to choose the latter. When someone ignores your contribution or passes you over for a promotion, don't retreat into self-pity. And don't let bitterness consume you from the inside out. Instead, pause, breathe, and redirect that energy into something undeniably powerful. Start a new project that plays to your strengths. Take initiative where others hesitate. Volunteer for the task no one else dares to touch. Let your work speak volumes, louder than any protest ever could. This isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself, quietly, confidently, that your worth is independent of their recognition. Just because someone fails to see your value doesn't mean it's not there. Rejection doesn't erase your abilities, it simply opens a door for you to refocus and realign. You've heard the saying, when one door closes, another opens. That's not a motivational cliche, it's a blueprint for action. Rejection isn't a verdict on your potential. It's often a gentle redirection, an invisible hand nudging you towards something more aligned with your passion, your talent, and your purpose. So take time to reflect. What are your true strengths? What lights you up? How can you pivot to amplify your impact? This is your chance to rewrite your success story, chapter by chapter, where every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. And no, this doesn't mean pretending you're okay when you're not. Don't mask disappointment behind forced smiles. Feel the sting, but don't get stuck there. Let yourself experience the full range of emotions. Then, choose to move forward, with purpose and with grace. The Stoic lifestyle teaches us to master what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our responses. Not theirs, ours. And in those quiet moments of reflection, try to extend empathy, not just to yourself, but even to those who passed you over. Maybe the colleague who ignored you is struggling with their own inner battles. Maybe their silence has more to do with their pain than with your value. Understanding this doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. And from this wisdom, you grow. You evolve. You become someone stronger, more self-assured, someone who rises, again and again, like a phoenix from the ashes of rejection. Because rejection isn't the end of your story, it's a powerful twist in the plot. One that pushes you to become your most authentic, resilient, and undeniably powerful self. Lesson 6, cut off contact, and embrace the power of silence. Especially in moments of rejection, the instinct to fix things can feel overwhelming. You were ignored, dismissed, turned down. Your gut reaction might be to reach out, to call, to message, to explain, to reconnect, to bridge the uncomfortable gap. But this is exactly when you flip the script. Instead of chasing, choose silence. Not out of spite, not to play games, but to reclaim your power. Because silence, when used with intention, isn't empty, it's potent. It's not about punishing someone else. It's about pausing for yourself, pulling back to protect your energy, to remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to how someone else responds, or doesn't. The Stoic lifestyle invites us to master restraint, not as weakness, but as clarity. When you resist the urge to react immediately, you take back control. You create space, mental, emotional, spiritual space, to recalibrate. This isn't just stillness. It's strategy. In that quiet space, something powerful happens. You start to refocus on your goals, on your passions, on what lights you up. The silence becomes a reset button, a time to remember that you are whole, with or without their response. And that pause, it isn't cold. It's a boundary. It's saying, I value my peace more than I need to chase this. You're no longer trying to be chosen, you've already chosen yourself. In a world addicted to instant replies, silence stands out. It's not passivity, it's a declaration. It shows self-control, self-worth, confidence, and sometimes, it says more than words ever could. Think about it. What kind of person doesn't crumble under pressure? Who doesn't rush to fix or plead or explain? Someone grounded. Someone complete. Someone who's living a life filled with purpose beyond this single moment of rejection. This isn't about making them miss you. It's not about hoping they come crawling back. It's about making yourself stronger, more centered, more composed, more in command of your own emotional reality. Because while silence may not change them, it will change you. It will remind you that you're not someone who needs to beg for attention. You're someone who walks with quiet dignity, even through disappointment. And from that place of strength, you'll be ready for the next lesson. Lesson 7, prove them wrong, by proving it to yourself first. Rejection isn't just a pushback from others. It's an invitation, a challenge, to show yourself what you're truly made of. It's not about making someone else eat their words. It's about transforming every no into a stepping stone, each one leading you higher. When someone doubts your abilities, mocks your effort, or dismisses your potential, pause. Then ask yourself, what if I used this as fuel? Not to seek revenge, not to change their minds, but to break through your own limitations. Let's say someone calls you unskilled in a certain area. Instead of defending yourself with words, dive deep into growth. Study, practice, commit, sharpen that skill with relentless focus. Not to impress them, but to surpass even your own expectations. This isn't about making a scene. You don't need a dramatic comeback. You don't have to post your progress or announce your transformation. Let your actions whisper what your words never need to shout. If you've been labeled uncreative, start a project that reflects your deepest originality. Let it breathe life. If they said you lack discipline, respond not with anger, but with consistency, day after day, until your results become your reputation. This quiet, daily grind, this silent revolution of self-improvement, isn't a battle against their perception. It's a devotion to personal excellence. And over time, something magical happens. As you change, the world around you begins to shift. People might see you differently. But more importantly, you begin to see yourself differently. That's the real win. Because the Stoic lifestyle reminds us, true strength is not about changing others. It's about transforming ourselves. And when you do that, when you prove to yourself what you're capable of, you don't just surprise them. You redefine your entire identity. It's no longer about proving them wrong. It's about redefining what right means for you. On your terms. By your rules. And in that quiet transformation lies the greatest victory, realizing that the only approval you truly need, is the one you give yourself. Lesson 8, go out and have fun, joy is a rebellion. Embracing joy isn't just about feeling good. It's a strategy, a deliberate act of resilience. Because when rejection hits, our first impulse is often to retreat, to curl inward, to sit alone with the sting and replay the moment over and over in our minds. But what if, instead of surrendering to that spiral, you chose to rise, laughing? That's the twist. That's the rebellion. Seek joy deliberately. No, it's not about faking happiness or ignoring what hurt. It's about giving your emotions a new playground. A space to breathe, to dance, to remember that there is more to life than one closed door. Pick up a hobby you've left behind, paint, garden, cook a complicated meal, try something completely new, even something silly. The point isn't the skill, it's the spark. Every joyful moment becomes an act of quiet defiance. A message to yourself that you're not defined by disappointment, you're bigger than it. And don't do it alone. We're human. We're wired for connection. And when facing rejection, your tribe, your circle, is a lifeline. Call a friend. Share a meal. Go for a hike. Join a community project that makes you feel useful and alive. These aren't just feel-good activities. They're rituals of reaffirmation. With each laugh, each inside joke, each shared story, you're reminded, you're not just the sum of your failures. You're part of something richer. A narrative woven through connection, empathy, and shared strength. And here's where the real transformation begins: step into the unknown. Rejection can feel like a slammed door. But what if it's actually a hallway, one lined with so many more doors you've never considered? Try a new cuisine. Walk a street you've never been down. Take a class that challenges your thinking. Do something that feels foreign. Even a little scary. Lesson 9, build your social status, not for applause, but for growth. Imagine yourself in a crowded room, surrounded by voices, laughter, chatter, and yet, you feel invisible, overlooked, almost as if you don't exist. That moment, uncomfortable as it may be, holds a powerful opportunity. Because the Stoic lifestyle teaches us that rejection doesn't define us, it refines us. It redirects our focus inward. Instead of chasing approval or trying to force recognition, you begin the quiet work of self-enhancement. You no longer seek validation from others. You build yourself from the inside out. This isn't about climbing a social ladder. It's about climbing your own ladder of personal development. Hit the gym, not to impress others, but to honor your physical strength. Dive into a new hobby, not to show off, but to discover what excites your spirit. Advance in your career, not for titles, but to stretch your potential. Every action becomes a brick in the foundation of your resilience. Every effort is a step toward becoming someone you respect, someone you can rely on. But don't stop there. Share your journey. Not for applause, not for followers, but for connection. Talk about the things you're learning, the challenges you're facing, the passions that fuel you. Speak with sincerity, not strategy. You're not performing, you're reaching out to find people who resonate with your story. Join a cause. Volunteer. Attend events that align with your values. When you network from the heart, you're not just growing a resume, you're weaving a web of meaning, of shared purpose, of mutual growth. That's where true status lies, not in being seen by many, but in being understood by a few who matter. This is deeply rooted in the Stoic lifestyle, where the measure of a person isn't fame or applause, but their contribution to the greater good, and the integrity of their character. So if you want to build your social status, shift the intention. You're not here to be liked. You're here to grow, to connect, and to become a light that helps others rise too. And here's the beautiful irony. When you stop trying to be noticed, that's when people start to notice. Not because you're loud, but because you're real. And when you've reached that place, centered in growth, these aren't just distractions. They're expansions. Each new experience doesn't erase the past, it adds layers to who you are becoming. You grow. You stretch. You evolve into someone more adaptable, more curious, and more unshakably alive. Because the goal here isn't to forget the rejection. It's to outgrow it. And now, as you begin to rediscover the joy in life's messiness and wonder, it's time to take all that growth, and direct it into something focused, something disciplined. Let's explore how to build unshakable consistency in the face of uncertainty. Lesson 10, act as if they don't exist, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. There's a certain strength in knowing when to step back. When someone consistently ignores you or treats you like an afterthought, it's tempting to react, to prove your worth, to demand recognition. But the Stoic lifestyle offers a different path, one of silent, steady power. If you're in a situation where interaction with this person is unavoidable, say, a co-worker or collaborator, start by keeping it professional. Stay composed. Keep conversations focused, brief, and neutral. No need for warmth. No need for bitterness. You're not being cold, you're setting boundaries. You're sending a clear, silent message: I'm here for the task, not the drama. This isn't about winning. It's not about making them feel guilty or excluded. It's about showing up for yourself, protecting your peace, and refusing to be pulled into emotional turbulence that serves no purpose. And if the disregard continues, if every interaction feels hollow, one-sided, or draining, then it's time to embrace an even deeper power, the power to walk away. This is not a defeat. It's a strategic retreat. It's a declaration that your energy is precious, and that you choose to invest it in people, places, and pursuits that bring you joy, growth, and connection. You're not abandoning the conversation. You're simply choosing not to have it where there's no mutual respect. By refusing to engage in a battle for validation, you step into something far more powerful: emotional clarity. You're not moving away from them, you're moving towards something better. Better relationships, healthier dynamics, a more peaceful and fulfilling state of mind. And when you make that choice, not with anger, but with grace, it becomes a quiet revolution in your life. Because your response to indifference isn't a signal of weakness. It's a testament to your inner strength, self-respect, and dignity. And sometimes, the most powerful response isn't walking away. Lesson 11, don't beg for attention, stand rooted in your own worth. There's something deeply empowering about not needing to be seen to know you matter. In the face of indifference, the temptation to shout louder, to prove your presence, can be overwhelming. But the Stoic lifestyle urges us to respond differently, with quiet dignity, not desperation. When someone ignores you, it's not a cue to perform. You don't have to dance louder under their spotlight, hoping they'll finally look your way. Instead, it's a signal, a nudge inward, to reaffirm your own value, on your terms. You are not here to chase acknowledgement. You are here to anchor yourself in self-respect and independence. This isn't about ego. It's about self-possession. The Stoic lifestyle reminds us that true self-esteem is not a pendulum swinging with the attention of others. It's a solid foundation that doesn't waver with every glance, or every silence. So rather than begging for attention, turn that energy inward. Focus on what sets your soul on fire. Pour yourself into the work, the passions, the hobbies, and the communities that nourish you. Let your life be full, not for an audience, but for yourself. Because it's not about showing someone what they're missing. It's about realizing for yourself just how much you bring to the table. Surround yourself with those who see you, who value you, not for performance, but for presence, for being exactly who you are. This isn't a passive withdrawal, it's an active embrace of your own path. The more you engage in your own life, your purpose, your joy, the less power their indifference has over you. Slowly, the need for outside validation fades into irrelevance. And here's the secret. The most magnetic people are those who aren't seeking attention at all, because they're too busy growing, building, and becoming. Let your confidence, your poise, your self-assurance be the natural byproduct of a life well lived, not a performance for those who once looked away. This isn't just how you deal with rejection, it's how you transcend it. By focusing on your growth, your happiness, your journey. And as you begin to rise steadily in your own light. Lesson 12, be kind, but emotionally distant. One of the most difficult things to do in the face of indifference is to remain gracious, especially when your emotions are stirring beneath the surface. But the Stoic lifestyle teaches us that our power doesn't lie in controlling others. It lies in mastering our own responses. So even when you're ignored, dismissed, or treated with coldness, choose kindness. not because they deserve it, but because you do. Smile. Offer a polite greeting. Show small acts of respect. But, and this is key, keep your emotional world fortified. This isn't about shutting down. It's not about building icy walls or pretending you don't care. It's about drawing healthy boundaries, preserving your peace, and standing grounded in your own integrity. Because kindness, when rooted in self-respect, is not weakness, it's power wrapped in calm. Emotional distance doesn't mean apathy. It means maturity. It means you've come to understand a vital truth. You can control your words and actions, but you cannot control how others receive them. And that's okay. You're not being distant to punish. You're not being nice to be liked. You're simply choosing to act with grace, while protecting your center. It's like a strong tree in the storm, its branches may sway, but its roots are deep. It doesn't get uprooted by passing winds. By practicing this balance, kindness with detachment, you show the world that your behavior is guided not by reaction, but by reflection. You're not here to be emotionally pulled in every direction. You're here to remain steady. And this steadiness, it doesn't just protect you, it empowers you. It allows you to walk through rejection with your head held high, to speak with warmth while keeping your inner space untouched by chaos. This is the core of the Stoic lifestyle, not a hardened heart, but a wise one. A heart that chooses to respond, not react. A heart that gives, but doesn't crumble when it's not received. In doing so, you honor both yourself and those around you. You lead with quiet dignity, and leave with your emotional integrity intact. Now that you've mastered kindness with emotional control, there's one more step to becoming unshakable. Learn to keep your struggles to yourself, not as a mask, but as a mark of true inner strength. Lesson 13, don't reveal your struggle, let your stability speak. When someone ignores or rejects you, it's natural to feel a wave of hurt, confusion, even loneliness. And yes, there's a strong urge to make it visible, to show that you're affected, to hope, even silently, that your vulnerability might earn their attention or sympathy. But the Stoic lifestyle offers us a deeper kind of power. The ability to feel, and still stay steady. This approach doesn't mean denying your emotions. Not at all. You're human, acknowledge what you feel. Let the emotions rise. But don't hand them the wheel. Your feelings are passengers, not captains. Let calmness guide you. Let self-assurance take the lead. Because when you move forward with quiet composure, still doing your work, still showing up for yourself, you're not pretending to be unaffected. You're proving that your dignity is intact, that your self-worth doesn't rely on being seen. In fact, by continuing to live confidently, you're not just showing others your strength, you're reminding yourself that it's there. You're saying, without a word, I may be hurting, but I am still whole. I may be disappointed, but I will not be undone. This isn't emotional suppression. It's emotional discipline. You're not hiding, you're managing. You're not bottling it up, you're choosing when and how to release it, in ways that are healthy and aligned with your values. It's a quiet act of wisdom, a daily decision to live with integrity. And in that, you become unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Your response to rejection isn't just a message to the world, it's a mirror reflecting your own growth. You begin to realize, your peace is non-negotiable. Your sense of self is rooted. You are no longer thrown by the indifference of others, you're anchored in your own clarity. We've now walked together through 13 powerful lessons in emotional resilience. each drawn from the deep well of Stoic lifestyle thinking. From silence to stillness to strength, this journey hasn't been about changing others. It's been about changing your relationship with rejection. About turning every no into an invitation to return home to yourself, wiser, calmer, stronger. And the best part? This is just the beginning. Because now, you don't just understand how to handle rejection. You know how to rise from it with calm, with clarity, with power. These 13 lessons weren't just theory, they were a roadmap. A guide to transforming rejection from something that breaks you into something that builds you. Each no you face isn't a dead end, it's a stepping stone to greater resilience. A doorway to a deeper version of yourself. The Stoic lifestyle teaches us not to run from pain, but to reshape it, to use it as fuel. And now, I challenge you to apply this wisdom in your own life. When rejection comes, and it will, don't see it as a failure. See it as a signal. A chance to grow. A push toward your highest self. Take a breath. Reflect. Then move forward with calm, with strength, and with unshakable clarity. And now, it's your turn to speak. Down pointing finger emoji, hit that subscribe button if this message resonated with you. Bell emoji, tap the notification bell so you never miss another moment of insight. Speech bubble emoji, and most importantly, share your story in the comments. Whether you've triumphed, stumbled, or are still figuring it out. We want to hear from you. If you're not sure what to say, just type, strength in adversity. That one phrase says everything. It tells us you were here, and you made it through. Because your voice matters. Your experience matters. And together, we're not just building a channel, we're building a community. A place where wisdom meets action. Where silence becomes strength. And where rejection becomes a launchpad to resilience. So here's to each of you, standing firm in the storm, grounded in self-worth, and walking the Stoic path with purpose. Until next time, stay focused, stay resilient, and stay stoic. They rejected you. So what? Rejection isn't your ending. It's your awakening. A mirror. A teacher. A sharp blade, if you learn to hold it right. The Stoics never begged for doors to open. They walked forward, regardless. So don't shrink. Don't explain. Don't flinch. Stand taller. Walk calmer. Smile deeper, because when they say no, you say, watch me. Turn rejection into refinement. Turn silence into strength. Subscribe to Stoic Insights. Let rejection sharpen you, not shatter you.